Listen. We got to discuss something involving the process. This big business happening out now, out there in Philadelphia. Listen, man, this is crazy. Joel Embiid and the Philadelphia 76ers have agreed to a 3-year, $192.9 million max contract extension that guarantees the former MVP a total of 299.5 million through the 2028-29 season. This is being reported from sources everywhere. This is serious business. Embiid announced this, all on the social media platform. You see the sketches. I mean, it's crazy. You see the endorsement deal. All things is coming into fruition for Embiid. Embiid is one of my favorite guys, even though he is out in the Eastern Conference, close to the New York Knicks, and there seems to be a budding rivalry happening right about now with those two teams. But Embiid showed me a lot, when he stepped on that floor on one leg and put up 50. There's something like that just don't go over my head. I got max respect, and I believe this contract is warranted for his talent. I just hope those knees can hold up, and we're gonna discuss it, and we're gonna figure out what does this mean for the Eastern Conference, and the Philadelphia 76ers
Mhm.
have acquired PG. So you all know I had to bring in my man, the Chief. We all know
Yes.
this man got legendary platforms all over the place. Y'all better go check out the Unfiltered Bonfire where it goes down. But the Chief, man, listen, we got to get to it, man. What in the world is going on right now? I got the BTW with me. What's the deal? It's Flight Sports.
That's right. Flight Sports, the machine. Well, I appreciate you, of course, sharing time with you, man, to share brotherhood takes, bro. This it's the fruits of the process, bro. You know, it's the fruits of the process, man. It worked out. The process worked out. There's no way during this time that you ever think that Joel Embiid will have a 300 million, basically a $300 million deal. Now that makes three flight, two in Boston, and one now in Philly. The $300 million deal is about to the deals are getting into those areas now. You know, so that's interesting. And they're they prepping for Boston. Joel Embiid's been knocking on the door. MVP center. Only thing he needs a ring, a chip now. He'll be put if he gets that ring, he'll be put among the great centers, man. He'll be in the long line of great centers. He will be a ring. And out of Philly, yes.
Do you believe that the Philadelphia 76ers are a true title threat? What do you think about the mix of talent down there in Philly? You got these guys, they're gonna be coming back with a vengeance. Paul George. He left LA. He gotta show something for that. You got Maxi. Everybody then hyped him up like he the second coming. Now you got Embiid coming in off a gold medal in the bag. What's up with Philly and their chances at a title and possibly dethroning the heavyweights out east?
I think that there with the addition of Paul George, it depends. It I hate to say it, it's gonna hang. It's gonna hang on George. If George isn't playoff P, really playoff P, not disappearing playoff P, because they got a nice group. They got Kyle Lowry still there. I mean they still got Lowry there. Drummond is there. I mean, of course Maxi is there. Reggie Jackson, Oubre. They got a nice. They've gotten Caleb Martin out of Miami up there, 3-and-D. So they have a team. Eric Gordon. I mean, they have a team that's been through battles, veteran teams. This is a team that's looking to collect a ring. This is not they're not looking to rebuild. They're looking to challenge Boston. And if MB can stay healthy and Tyrese can continue to grow in his role, and you get a healthy, focused, dynamic Paul George with Kelly Oubre and the rest on the edges of that, I think they can give Boston a push. They could. Philly could give Boston a push.
I totally agree with you. We talk so much about the players, you know. Obviously, they got Nick Nurse at the helm. What's your thoughts on him as a coach? Do you see him being there for the long haul with this, you know, current squad now with PG in the mix? Will he be there for the long-term future?
Coaches, they call it the coach carousel for a reason. Like it's like Nurse got a ring in Toronto, with Kawhi, and then he kind of moved around. Now he's in Philly. So because of these things, that gives Nurse a cachet. Hell, that I mean, I just have to be frank and honest, bro. That if Nurse can get a ring in Philly, he's above Doc. It is what it is. Uh, uh, but things like that, they look for results. They looking for results. If you're there to win as a coach. If you fail, then you move on. If Nick Nurse can get rings there, he has that personality. Philadelphia kind of like guys like him anyway. So as long as he does well with a healthy Embiid, fresh off a new deal, with an incoming All Star, more than likely a Hall of Famer, and Paul George entering the fray, looking really on the clock. Paul needs a ring flight. So I think that he could stick around as long as they're doing well. I don't see Nick Nurse going anywhere unless they feel like the team needs another voice to get over the hump. We will see this year.
Right. You talked about Paul George, I want to speak to him for 1 second because, obviously, you cover the Charlotte Hornets so extensively. They got a guy over there by the name of Brandon Miller. Pete
Mm-hmm.
Millie. We all know the affection, Paul's that he has for Paul George. They seem to have a great relationship. What do you think of some of these younger guys coming in pretty much looking up to Paul George? They not saying LeBron, they saying Paul George. You hear Cayenne, they saying Paul George. What's your thoughts on how the younger generation is flocking to PG? What's your thoughts on that aspect?
He is the prototype. He is the prototype wing that this NBA is looking for. Flight. Versatile, able to do a little bit of everything, can shoot, can dribble the ball, can play make a little bit. These wings, he is his game is what these unicorn wings are forming their game after in the long line of dynamic wings. Paul George looked up to T Mac and wings like that, T Mac and Carter. He looked up to those guys. And now the guys, young wings, are looking up to him as he looked up to T Mac and the rest of them. So that's a long line of dynamic wings and big guards. You understand, like wings, big guards. Even dynamic fours. Those type of players can play multiple positions at a dynamic level, and they are coveted by the NBA. So Brandon Miller in Charlotte, he is the talk of the right after LaMelo Ball. The talk is Brandon Miller in Charlotte. That is the talk in Charlotte right now because he's one of those dynamic wings. And at 6'9", Brandon Miller could possibly go to 6'10". So him, Paul George, T Mac 6'9", playing guard. These are the type of players that the NBA looks for and grabs quickly, and usually keep those type of players. They don't move around too much.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what PG does with Embiid coming off this bag. Last time we seen Paul George, he averaged 22 points per game. He shot 47% from the field, 41% from three, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and nearly 2 steals a game. It's Flight Sports TV. Peace and love.